Hello, everyone. Nice to see everyone here today. Hope everyone's having a good day today. No. All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit about racism and like melanin and that kind of stuff a little bit because I think we kind of forget that racism is still an issue in this world.
Really?
Yeah, because, okay, so it's sort of like, and I guess I can talk on this because I was there once, the person who fought for, well, in my mind, fought for everything ism, right? You want to stand up for the people that are being like shot down, so you got to fight for it. You got to say something about it. You got to get mad about something, right? But during the awakening process, coming out of that onto the other side or the bigger spectrum, you realize that just like all the other issues in the world, it's not an issue. It's an issue because you make it an issue. Now, please don't get offended, people. Yes, I understand people have individual issues. Yeah, for some reason, people get so... This is one of the topics that even in the conscious movement right now, I think racism is... No, wait. I say in the world right now, it's still one of the big ones that, like, tackles people down, like, pulls them down, to, like, keeping you anchored, basically, in a certain thought process and wavelength is racism. There's other ones too, but this is a big one, and people get real weird about talking about it too. But we're gonna talk about it. So, did you want to start it off?
It's like sometimes there's different names for it. It's like racism, or some people based on different regions or like countries where like colorism, because it'd be like they're all the same race, but the people would be like a different complexion.
Okay.
Like if you're like in India, if you're darker skinned, then like you're not seen as beautiful as someone with light skin. But you're the same. It's not like in the United States where like there's Indian people, there's Hispanic people, there's white people, there's black people. It's like this. Even in other places, it's literally the same race, people, just different.
Okay, so basically there's colorism, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I think why I wanted to talk about this too is because I was looking through YouTube and I saw a video about this man who is on TED Talks. I probably should put the video in our description if I can find it. But anyway, I don't usually look at a lot of videos on racism stuff because, like I said, it's not something I really think about that much anymore. But I should because it's still in the world, but only to come back and give people a hand to pull them out of it. All right, which is what we're doing today. But anyway, so the video was about... He was talking about how his grandchildren, they're white, they don't understand racism, they understand what you're supposed to call black people and stuff, but they don't understand anything about white people. Basically, there's like a imbalance in how we're teaching the children to understand what race and racism is. I think that was the gist of it. And so it was interesting because, dang it, I wish I had taken notes because there was something that was interesting about the discussion.
Oh, yeah? So yeah, that's something that a lot of people have a problem with is about like racism is like how to describe somebody without offending anyone, and like obviously if you're one person, you can't be like if you're, for example, a white male, you can't be a proud white male because you're considered like racist to be like, well, I love being a white person. And that's something that I've seen a lot.
When you're really saying deep down is that you're proud of being yourself, right? That's really what you're saying, and you are what you are in this physical form in this moment in time. You're happy to be this being, right? And that can come off so wrong to so many people, right?
Exactly. It's like, then why should that be a horrible thing? Like, why does that make people like turn and look at you and glare at you because you're like, I am so happy to be just who I am. And this is what I am at this given moment.
Because of racism. That's why. But, all right, so I was going somewhere with this that was more important than just like, hold on. You can talk a little bit while I get my thoughts together.
Okay. Well, because the thing is, like, a lot of people just need to be proud of who you are. Like, and there should be no one, like, glaring at you or mad at you just because you're happy to be who you are. Like, you can be a disabled person, different skin complexions, anything. Be happy to be who you are and not worry about it.
Okay, so I think one of the things I was trying to talk about. So there's still this narrative. We're not ever going to get over racism until we understand what race is. So yes, we're all human beings, but we're all different. And we come from different areas of this earth plane, and there's different theories on how this evolution of the human, or even just experience in general, existence happened. But we are different. Let's not pretend like there's no differences. It's not just skin color and whatever features. There are differences that come along with the different regions of the world that you originated from, your ancestral line originated from. there are differences that go beyond just the skin color, okay?
Yes.
So let's not pretend that, it's just skin color. So let's just give it up. Because that's going stupid too. So there's that. And this is not a video to go into the details of the differences. But my point is that the differences still don't matter because, see, broader picture, each individual self or being or consciousness, we've likely been the whole spectrum of differences. The differences are there because we want variety of experiences when we come to this physical plane to live our lives, right? And so the differences in the outward differences, whereas the inward differences, the differences in the physical form offer a variety of experience, different eyes to look through, right?
Yeah.
Different ways to do things. So don't pretend like there's no differences, quote unquote, scientifically in the different, quote, races, because there are differences, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Who gives an F, right? They're here for our enjoyment and experience and variety and whatnot to enrich in our physical existence. Let's see, what else? Hold on.
So what you're saying is pretty much like just enjoy the experience of whatever you have and whatever you're interacting with, because we've all probably been all of them already anyways, even different animals and whatnot, and stop worrying about like what everyone is saying is an issue.
That was sorta, I think, what I was saying. Embrace the differences and stop focusing on what the differences are. The differences are here so your individual self can experience something different than what it had last time, right?
Yes.
It's like at this time I'm gonna add some salt and pepper to my food. This time I'm gonna add some soy sauce. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like it's just okay. So there's that one big thing that I wanted to bring up, and then as far as okay, hold on, I've lost my thoughts again, so you can go and talk a little bit if you want.
That is pretty interesting to think about. I mean, we all have all these experiences. We're all here to just enjoy these experiences, yet we're always trying to like fight each other for some reason based on like what our experiences are.
Well, I mean, we know of the historical narrative of racism and how we got to where which most of those aren't even really true, by the way. It never was about racism. It was about probably more like, let's kill off these people so we can like take the land. And this is also not about let's get these people back for killing off tons of people. Like, this is a whole collective thing, okay? We're all responsible for everything that's ever happened in our history. Some of our history timelines are historical. A lot of them, they've been twisted around to make it seem like it was a certain way that it wasn't. Like, for example, a big one that nobody wants to really let go of is the whole slave trade across the transatlantic, which we've had a video on that before, but that didn't happen like that. African Americans, quote unquote, are the black people in this country, are the indigenous people of the Americas, okay? I wanted to throw that in anywhere because there's a lot of people that aren't aware of that. But that can spark some issues inside of people, some real strong mental blocks and movement inside of people. But it's the truth, okay? And you can align to it or not. But it's definitely, I've noticed that it definitely gets things moving in a hard way for a lot of people, that reality, understanding that reality. But you have to understand, once you really start to understand it on a deeper level, that changes why things happen. You understand why things happen the way they did from a different perspective, the more real perspective, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And race or color had nothing to do with anything, really. That's a newer thing that was put in, sort of injected into the consciousness of society because it's a way to control people.
Yeah.
If we get them hooked on this narrative, we can make them do whatever we want to do and think however we want to think, and whatever we put some kind of whatever on the news, then we can get everyone like all excited and whatever about certain things. But so yeah, there's that.
That's definitely a big one, and especially with the elections coming up, they're going to be really trying to pump out different things to get people against each other. You guys have to realize we're all responsible for all of this stuff. Don't let that affect you.
Where you put your awareness grows, if that makes sense. But anyway, I wanted to bring up too, I was having a discussion with some people on Facebook recently about this very topic. This is how I know people aren't ready to hear this shit. They brought up like racism or whatever, and then I was like, no. It's pretty much sort of like, if you focus on anything for a long enough period of time, or you put it in your space, especially in a real negative way, that pulls it to you. Like, you're gonna see that more in your reality. Your mind, your mind, your awareness, your consciousness, it creates your reality. What do you think about is creating your reality. And I was explaining this to them because they seemed to understand this concept when I spoke about it with like another topic, but for some reason they couldn't relate this same. And this concept applies to everything, but it doesn't apply to racism for some people. But anyway, so a lot of people kind of got mad about that and like, oh no, racism is real. I have all these experiences of it. Yada yada yada. I'm like, no. You're missing the point of what I am saying. You are focusing on it, and that's why it's existing more for you. Okay, just think of it as a soup. Okay, look at this bowl of soup that has all these different kinds of vegetables in it or whatever. You're out of the soup. But if you want to focus on something, the peas that are floating around in the soup, you're going to see a lot of them, and you can pick them up out of there and eat them if you want, I guess, or you can not, sort of like that. It definitely is something, if you want to, say, overcome racism, quote unquote, stop thinking about it so much. I know that sounds like silly to people or ridiculous. Even I thought this, 10 years ago, whatever. That's ridiculous. You can't fix a problem by not thinking about it. But guess what? You can.
Yeah.
Your focus on it makes it stronger. Okay? It brings that energy into existence, basically. You're conjuring up the energy of that thing that you're focusing on. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely a very powerful topic to talk about at the moment. So I'm allowing people to digest that for a little bit. I'm done with this one. Anything like that?
You're like, oh shit, I'm done talking about this. I'm just kidding. I think there was one last thing I wanted to say. Hold on, let me try to remember it. Oh crappers! I think I had a brain. All right, let's see. Yeah. So basically, whatever you focus on, that grows. Okay. Whatever you focus on in your awareness, that is what grows in it. So yeah, take with it what you will.
Yes.
Hopefully this is helpful to some people or most or whoever listens to it, and we will talk to everyone later.
All right, everyone.